Hello and welcome to another video in Burning with Intelligence series. On the previous video on the Mk8 DTI system, we mainly covered the general functionality of the Mk8 DTI. In today's video, we will be covering the rule system of the Mk8 DTI system. How the rule system works and how it is set up. We'll use some examples to explain how it works. So let's have a look at the Mk8 DTI system. The DTI rules information can be accessed by simply clicking on configure and then going on rule system. This will bring you to the page on currently set up rules. You can set up to 100 rules on the DTI. However, this system is only set up with 19 rules. So let's look at two of the examples on the rules currently set up on this DTI. The rule one here is if goes into a fault stage, it can send out an email to a particular email address. The other rule we have set up here, for example, number 8, from a gas pressure sensor. So the pressure coming into the boiler house, if it drops less than 9 millibar, then the system can react and turn off a second burner. As on the Mk8 DTI, we can take input from any of the connected devices, which could be MMs, EGAs, IO modules, or even gas and air pressure sensors, and then output to any particular device, again connected to the DTI system. So let's have a look at the DTI again and go through the options to set up a new rule. In order to create a new rule, we have to go into configure, edit configuration, password, and then go into rule system. All the rules which have been already configured, they are highlighted. Anything which is grayed out means the rule doesn't exist or it has been created. So let's say we want to create a rule. Let's go to number 70, just a random number picked up, to create a rule. There are 12 different options in order to set up a rule. So looking at option number 1 simply allows us if we are enabling this rule or disabling it. If this rule already exists, then we can delete that rule as well. Option 2, the input type. So are we taking the information from an MM, EGA, IO module, pressure sensor, or from DTI itself? In this particular case, because we're taking an analog input from feed water tank and outputting to a digital output to turn on a pump, so we are selecting the IO module. As you can connect up to 10 IO modules with the DTI, so we have to select which particular IO module we're using. In this case, we're using IO module number 1. We already confirmed that we will be taking an analog input to find out the feed water tank water level. So let's say that is analog input 2, or let's say it's tank level number 16. Now for the output, because we're performing an action on a third-party equipment which is not directly connected with the MM or an EGA, so we're using an IO module. So we have to select again an IO module, and we will be outputting to this particular IO module to turn on the pump. So we are selecting which particular IO module controls that pump or can output to that pump. So let's say this is IO module number 3 that we will be outputting it to. What we will be outputting it will be either one of the 8 digital outputs or 6 analog outputs. Since we are simply sending a simple command to turn on the pump, we are using digital output number 3. Option number 8, simply select what the action needs to be performed. So in this particular case, it will perform an action when the analog input level goes above or below a configurable threshold. So this is what we select in the next option, option 9, if it's less than or if it's more than. In this particular case, because the water level is dropping, we have to make sure when it goes to a certain level, so less than that value, then the pump needs to come on. We also need to set up a trigger threshold, so we have put that as 30%. So if the water level set point is 100 millimeter. When the water level drops to 30 millimeter, the pump will come on. It also have a re-trigger threshold. This is basically if the water level goes up to the set point or above, at what particular point you want the pump to go to off position again. So we have put that at 110%, in this case 110 millimeters, and the pump will be coming off. And what should be the output value? Because we're setting it up as the water level dropping will trigger the feed water pump to come on, so we are turning it on to on. So now let's look at the rule that we have set. So as it reads from on the top, the IO module number 1, which is giving us the tank level, if it goes below 30%, then the output module 1 digital output, which will be going to your pump, will be turned on. So this is now one of our rules is set. Let's create another rule now for the same scenario. Feed water tank water level, if it drops to a certain level, then we want an email to be sent out to a plant manager. So again, we are enabling the rule. Then we are taking the input again from an IO module, which will be giving us information about the water level. Which IO module we're taking the information from, that will be IO module 1. What will be the input that we're taking from this IO module? So that will be an analog input giving us the water level status. Now for the output, what are we going to do? We are going to send an email out to number of people. So we can add email addresses or select if we already added. So let's say I'm only sending it to gsiba@autoflame.com if the water level drops. At what particular point we're going to do that? If the value goes to a certain threshold. Now we're going to select what threshold these are. So if the water level drops less than a particular value, so we are selecting less than. What should be the trigger threshold? So if it's a 100 millimeter tank, when the water level drops to 30 mil, then we would like this to be triggered, and we want the system to be back up and running or in normal stage if the water level goes back up to normal set point. So let's say the pump should go off at 110 millimeter. So now we have set up this rule again, and if we read the top value, it tells us from IO module number 1, an analog input, if it's less than 30%, then an email will be sent out to gsiba@autoflame.com. Now the third rule that we want to set up was feed water tank water level. If it drops to a certain point, then we would disable the burner or turn off the burner. So the first 4 options will remain exactly the same. We're taking the information from the same point and from same IO module, but now we will be outputting it to a different device. So now we have selected the output to be to the controller. Which controller? Again, we can have up to 10 so we have selected the ID number 1. What we're going to do, we wanted to turn off the burner, so we have selected the value 0. Again, because we're taking an analog input and performing an action, so we are using a threshold. Again, in the next options, we are selecting if the threshold is less than or more. Again, because the water level is dropping, which will be generating a reaction, so we're using less than. At what particular value this action will be triggered? If the water level drops to 30% or 30 mil. And when will the burner go back to normal operation again? If the water level in the feed water tank goes to 110% or 110 mil in this case. And the output value, because we will be outputting a signal to a relay which will be disabling the burner. So now if we read the rule that we have set up, is IO module number 1, which is measuring the feed water tank water level, goes below less than 30%, that will put ID number 1 burner disable to on. Hope this video helps to understand the DTI rule system. Thanks for listening, and tune in again for more intelligent answers to the burning questions.